Ray is 66. 2 years after his divorce, he did what almost everyone around him expected: he remarried. Good woman, he says, no complaints about her. But last month, sitting with his accountant going over retirement projections, Ray heard a number that made him go quiet for a full minute before he said anything. Dale is 64. Same age bracket, same divorce timeline as Ray, except Dale never remarried. People still ask him, 4 years later, when he's going to get back out there. He's stopped answering the question. And when you see the number sitting in his retirement account compared to Ray's, you'll understand exactly why he stopped explaining himself. By the end of this video, I'm going to show you both of those numbers side by side. And I'm going to walk you through a piece of retirement math that almost nobody runs before they say I do a second time, the math that decided, more than anything else, which one of these two men is actually on track and which one isn't. Here's the assumption baked into almost every conversation a man over 60 has about his future: that remarrying is the safe, stable choice, and staying single is the risk. Family assumes it. Friends assume it. Even financial advisors quietly assume it, because two incomes under one roof looks efficient on paper. Nobody runs the actual numbers before making that assumption. And when you do, when you actually sit down the way Ray's accountant finally did, the math doesn't say what everyone expects it to say. Here's what Ray's projection actually showed. Combining households at 64 didn't just combine two nest eggs, it combined two sets of obligations. A blended budget that was supposed to bring shared costs down instead pushed them up, because two people rarely retire the same way. One wants to travel more. One wants to help their own adult kids more. One has healthcare needs the other never budgeted for. None of that is anyone's fault. It's just what happens when two full financial lives merge instead of running independently. Dale's number, by comparison, is simple, because there's only one variable in it: Dale. Every dollar he's put away for 4 years has gone toward exactly one retirement, his own, with no merged obligations pulling in a second direction. Same starting point as Ray. Same 4 years. Dale is sitting on meaningfully more, not because he's more disciplined than Ray, because his math only ever had one person in it. Here's the simplest way to put it. Dale isn't ahead because he's smarter with money than Ray. He's ahead because his retirement only has one name on it. Read that twice. One name on it. That's the entire mechanism. It's not about being anti-marriage. It's about what happens, mathematically, the moment a second full financial life gets folded into yours at an age where there's less runway left to absorb a miscalculation. Here's the part that makes this worse than people realize. It's not just the shared budget. It's the slow, invisible redirection that happens inside a remarriage the same way it happened in the first one. Vacations chosen for someone else's preferences. Gifts for a new set of in-laws. A retirement date pushed back 6 months because someone else's plans didn't line up with his. Ray isn't unhappy, to be clear. That's an important distinction. He's just behind, in a way he didn't see coming, in a way nobody sat him down and warned him about before he remarried with good intentions, a good woman, and a spreadsheet nobody actually opened until year 2. People act like Dale gave something up. Let's be honest about what he actually avoided. He's not managing a second person's financial anxiety on top of his own. He's not having the what's ours versus what's mine conversation every time a big expense comes up. He's not funding a blended family's competing retirement timelines out of one shared account. He's not explaining a purchase to anyone, justifying a trip to anyone, or adjusting his plans because someone else's kids need help this year. He's not doing the slow math of whose name is on what, whose kids inherit what, and what happens if one of them needs long-term care before the other. That conversation alone ends more second marriages financially than people admit. Dale skipped all of it, not by accident, but because he ran the numbers Ray didn't run until it was already too late to undo. Meanwhile, Dale still fields the same question every few months. His sister asks if he's lonely. A friend from church tells him a man his age shouldn't be doing this alone. Here's what's actually happening underneath that concern. A man who's visibly ahead, financially, and by his own account, in peace of mind, makes people who didn't run their own math uncomfortable. It's not really about Dale being alone. It's that Dale's numbers are a quiet mirror for people who merged their finances twice without ever checking whether it actually made sense too. Run this out another 10 years and the gap doesn't close, it widens. Ray's household keeps absorbing two people's version of retirement, two sets of adult kids, two sets of expectations, two healthcare timelines that never arrive on schedule. Dale's keeps compounding as one clean number that answers to exactly one plan. That's not a judgment on Ray as a man. He made a fine decision for reasons that had nothing to do with a spreadsheet, and he's not miserable. It's just math, running quietly in the background of both their lives, and only one of them checked it early enough to plan around it. If you're where Dale is, clear that you're staying single, but you've never actually sat down and run your own numbers the way Ray's accountant finally did, that's worth an honest afternoon before you assume you're ahead. Drop your age in the comments and tell me, have you ever actually run the math on this, or did you just assume you were fine? We're building a private space for men in exactly this position, rebuilding, protecting what you've got, and holding your ground when people push back. If that's something you'd want, comment peace and I'll let you know when it opens.